It began with a single photo, just one image. But it was enough to shatter years of quiet belief, silent support, and the delicate hope that somehow Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun's connection would endure anything. No one could have predicted it. No one could have understood the weight that one picture would carry. But when it surfaced online, everything changed. For years, their story was whispered about with tenderness. Two souls bound by timing, by fate, by something unspoken that went far beyond the scripts they once shared. Lee Min-ho and Kim Go-eun had always been careful. Too careful. They knew the world was watching, analyzing every glance, every laugh, every breath between them. But what they didn't know was that one careless moment could undo everything they had worked so hard to protect. It started innocently enough. A fan posted a photo on social media, claiming it was taken at a private dinner. The lighting was dim, the angle slightly off, but there was no mistaking the face in the frame. Lee Min-ho, seated beside someone who wasn't Kim Go-eun. She was smiling. He was too. And even though the photo didn't reveal much, it was enough to ignite a storm. Within minutes, hashtags began to trend. Within hours, fans started speculating. And within days, everything between them began to unravel. At first, people tried to brush it off. It's just a colleague. It's a misunderstanding. But Go-eun's silence told a different story. She didn't deny anything. She didn't post, didn't respond, didn't defend him. She just vanished. And that silence became louder than any explanation could ever be. Behind the scenes, insiders later revealed, the truth was far more complicated than the internet believed. That dinner wasn't a date. It was a meeting. One Lee Min-ho couldn't refuse. Business, endorsements, the kind of obligations that come with fame. But the problem wasn't the dinner. It was the photo. And what it did to trust. According to one insider close to the situation, Kim Go-eun found out about the image the same way the rest of the world did, through social media. She was filming overseas when her phone started vibrating non-stop. Messages from friends. Mentions from fans. And then, the image itself. A simple photo. But to her, it meant everything. It wasn't jealousy, the source said quietly. It was disappointment. She trusted him to be careful, to protect what they had. And that photo made her feel like maybe he didn't. For years, their relationship had been built on secrecy and faith. No public confirmations. No open displays. Just quiet understanding. The kind that doesn't need words. But that kind of love is fragile. It depends on one thing, trust. And once that trust begins to crack, even silence feels like betrayal. Fans noticed the change immediately. The way they stopped mentioning each other. The sudden absence of subtle gestures, the matching accessories, the parallel captions, the small signs that once connected their worlds. Something had shifted. Something had broken. Weeks after the photo went viral, Lee Min-ho made his first public appearance. He smiled for the cameras. He spoke politely to reporters. But his eyes, they looked tired. And when one journalist asked about Kim Go-eun, his answer was brief. She's doing well. We're both focused on our work. Those words, though carefully chosen, carried an ache fans could feel even through the screen. Because when someone says we're focused on work, it usually means we're not okay. Meanwhile, Kim Go-eun kept her silence. Until one night she posted something. Not words, just an image. A sunset. Beautiful, lonely, and quiet. Her caption read, "Some endings don't need closure. Just peace." The internet froze. The timing. The tone. The implication. Everyone knew exactly who and what she meant. What made it even more heartbreaking was how real it all felt. Fans began connecting dots. How she had stopped liking his posts months earlier. How their interviews no longer overlapped. How both had chosen scripts set oceans apart. Even his stylist liked her photo that night, and unliked it hours later. Too late. The damage was done. Insiders later whispered that Lee Min-ho tried to reach out. He called, he texted, he even sent flowers. But she didn't respond. Not right away. Because sometimes, when someone breaks your quiet world, no apology can fix it. Not even from the person you love most. But love, especially one as deep as theirs, doesn't disappear easily. According to close friends, Lee Min-ho was heartbroken. He reportedly told a confidant, "I never meant to hurt her. I just wanted to keep our world safe, but I ended up losing it." He stopped appearing on social media for weeks. Even during his endorsement campaigns, his usual charisma seemed dimmed. Fans noticed. They always do. For Kim Go-eun, the healing was slower. She poured herself into work, smiling on set, laughing with castmates, pretending the weight wasn't still there. But even through the camera lens, there was something different in her eyes. A softness, yes, but also sadness. She once said in an interview, years ago, "Love isn't about showing the world. It's about showing up when no one's watching." Those words hit differently now, because for the first time, it felt like no one had shown up for her. Then came the twist. Months later, the truth about the photo finally surfaced. The woman beside Lee Min-ho. She wasn't a mystery lover. She was a production manager. Married, older, and part of his film team. The photo had been cropped deliberately, misused by someone chasing clicks and chaos. But by then, the damage was irreversible. Because in the world of fame, the truth always arrives too late. When the clarification came, fans expected reconciliation. A happy ending, a reunion, a public apology followed by a quiet smile. But that didn't happen. At least, not publicly. Instead, both stars moved on with quiet dignity. No bitterness. No blame. Just acceptance. As one fan perfectly put it, they loved like poetry, beautiful, fleeting, and too delicate for the noise of the world. And yet, the universe has its own strange way of keeping stories intertwined. Months after the incident, both stars attended the same private award ceremony. No cameras were allowed, but a few witnesses claimed something remarkable happened that night. They didn't speak. They didn't touch. But when Lee Min-ho took the stage to accept his award, he said something that silenced the entire room. Some memories don't fade. They become the quiet background of who we are. And to the person who taught me how to see beauty in silence, thank you. No names. But everyone knew. Everyone felt it. Later that night, Kim Go-eun reportedly smiled, a small, quiet smile. She clapped. And when her turn came to accept an award of her own, she said something that felt like an answer. Sometimes love doesn't end. It just changes shape. And if you loved truly, it never really leaves. And just like that, the audience knew, whatever had been lost wasn't hatred. It was simply love transformed. Fans still talk about the photo that ended everything. But maybe it didn't end everything after all. Maybe it just revealed what was already fragile, and what remained unbreakable. Because love isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the space between two people who once meant everything, now walking separate paths with quiet respect. And that's its own kind of forever. Today, when fans look back at their interviews, their shared laughter, the warmth between them,